Hey guys, this is Cam with Hope 2 Canine Foundation, and I'm going to be joined here in just a second by our trainer Kai. We have Des here with us this week as well, shadowing for our shadow student program, and you are looking at Coda Bear, the fluffy Samoyed. He is a treat and a half, guys. He's got a very different personality and temperament from Nux, who's a little terrier mix puppy that we streamed for you yesterday. So if the content that you end up watching here interests you, or you'd like more information about puppy training, just do a search on our Facebook page for puppy training or puppy training 101. We were joking here that my autocorrect had me typing 1001. Sometimes it feels that way, but Puppy Training 101, if you do a search on our Facebook page, that should get you some more content and information and examples of dogs that we are working with from the ages of 8 weeks on up. And it's not common for us to have a lot of puppies, so that's a big reason why this week we have more content than normal, because we have a litter of puppies in that are adoptable dogs through our rescue work, and then we also happen to have Coda here as a training dog. Our board and train program, however, welcome in guys, good to see you. Our board and train program centers around dogs that are 6 months or up. And we have that specifically set up, and I was sharing this with Des this week while she's learning about how we've structured our offerings. We've done that on purpose because not only does it mean that the puppy is more likely to have bladder control, potty training is starting to get pretty locked in for them to be crate trained. They are accustomed to the crate at that point, theoretically, especially if the owners reached out to us at 3 months of age, 4 months of age. We'll say, the board and train program and your goals for getting your dog on e-collar are totally achievable. We just need you to put some work in before they come into us, right? So our program, having that age, says that we know a little bit more about the dog in terms of their health, their stability, their temperament. We have an owner who's enjoyed the puppy stage. I mean, come on, we get dogs when they're that bitty because they're freaking cute, right? It's very fun to have your dog at that age on many levels because of just how sweet and fun they are. But it's also easy to start screwing things up really early, and it's important that our owners put the work in and that they set the stage for their investment in training to manifest at the highest level. And that is why we like to postpone having dogs come into the program until at least 6 months of age. They're also big enough at that point to where we don't have any concerns about tools usage, that we have the freedom and the flexibility to fit and select things like prong collar, e-collar, if that's what's appropriate, and not have that dog be too small, too fragile, too new in the world, that those things are going to be an issue for fit or more frequent wear. Hey, Amy. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So we're just going to do a little session here to compare and contrast for you with Coda, based on our session we streamed yesterday with Nux, and that we had questions and comments and lots of interest and requests for how do you deal when the dog is larger, first of all, when the dog is slightly older and it's no longer super exciting for them to offer you all these behaviors, and or when the personality and the temperament is very different. So I really do encourage you, if you did not see our live stream yesterday when we had a little Nux out here, 9 weeks old, just green as can be, eager, working for his meals, shaping the choices that we needed him to learn to make, and building that impulse control, this is going to look quite different, but it's also the same tools, the same process, just evolved for the dog's developmental level. It's evolved for the fact that this dog has had a lot of freedom, a lot of opportunity to do whatever he wants, therefore he has more entitlement. He's harder to set boundaries with. He's much more challenging to correct and have clarity and enforcement of certain things because he's more powerful now. And that is why he's here in an intensive board and train program, because the owner is tearing their hair out going, I cannot control this dog. We highly, highly recommend that you start addressing the things in your puppy that you do not want them to continue to do when they're an adult dog immediately. Do not wait to start training later. Training begins the day you get your dog. Whatever their age, whatever their level of knowledge or ability, if you adopt a dog who's not a baby, or you get a baby dog from a breeder or from a rescue situation, you're in training The minute that dog comes into your life, communicating to that animal what kind of leader you are or aren't, what your expectations are for their behavior, how much you follow through, how consistent you are, how believable and trustworthy you are based on how you do that training and communication with what is and isn't acceptable to you. So because CODA is missing some key ingredients for what we have found creates a really solid, smooth transition through adolescence into adulthood, we're having a harder time getting things cleaned up and clarified with a dog like this at this stage compared to shaping it and addressing it early with a puppy like Nux. It's totally normal, and it's why dog trainers exist. They're here to help you and to intervene and give you the tools and the information you need to course correct and get things going in the way that you want them to, so you can get the dog that you envisioned in the beginning as much as possible, right? If you delay too long, you make it a lot harder on yourself and you limit the potential result that you can create, okay? So let me save my shoulder here. We're gonna do just not too long here, maybe 10, 15 minutes to show you the difference of place command training. This is also like a massive shift for this dog, would you not say, from the last 2 days. He literally just came out of the crate, has done nothing today. It is almost 11 a.m. and Kai popped him on place. That's it. She just said place. So we had a couple conversations in the last sessions, the last few days, where we have worked up to this and built this level of calmness and understanding of the boundary that you just need to go ahead and go to sleep and relax. We'll tell you when the next thing is happening in your life. And that's how quickly you can actually see these progressions take place, right? So for owners who are listening, if you're frustrated and struggling and your puppy is wild and you don't feel that you have control, please trust me when I tell you that it might be a couple bad days, but you will quickly move to the other side where you see improvement and progress and understanding in your pup. You've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're very smart. They learn very quickly. This is not an easy dog, and he absolutely should be here in a professional training program, in my opinion, because the average owner would struggle with standing up to him. But he is learning, and he is getting the message that there's things that he likes to do and wants to earn, that he needs to give us great citizenship in the house and in the human relationship in order to have them, and that he actually really needs to be able to be okay in his own skin and not be constantly entertained and stimulated, and that he's in fact going to feel a hell of a lot better long term for being able to do that. So Kai, go ahead and do your thing, and then I'll try to keep up here on sharing and narrating for you guys. I'm going to move back a little bit so I have a little bit better perspective for you. He is on e-collar and prong collar, so different again than the 9-week-old pup. If you hear the collar box beep, go ahead. That's what that is, okay? So she's got him on different tools to share clarity about position and expectation. So he's on a prong collar, on a long line, and you can see it is an entirely different dynamic than just shaping movement and giving a lot of energy to a puppy. Like Nux, this is why I want you guys to see yesterday. It's really important. We can turn on the charm and add energy and get this dog into excitement and arousal pretty easily. What's really hard is to let him know, that's all, time to go to sleep now, and have him be able to switch back and forth between those two things. So she's just gonna hold her command and hold her e-collar information. He's working on low levels. He's still just experiencing that sensation as a new form of communication and direction. And eventually the leash will go away. We'll have just the e-collar. He prefers the cot over this bed. That was normal yesterday as well. So she's giving him a command. It's a free pass situation where she gives him the command. If he prompts and gets up and heads over there, she gets a reinforcing marker. She'll say good. or a yes. She might add some energy and praise. And if he doesn't hop up and head that direction, that's when the button's coming on. Little gentle bit of leash information to clarify, but you see how he already knows and anticipates? Very nice. He's learning that it's an automatic lay down, chill out, something he did not have a knowledge base for even just a few days ago. Oh, there it is. It's making sense, you guys, in terms of the e-collar timing. Just low level, she's starting to shape her movement and her voice to be associated with that tap, right? And then it also helps to clarify the boundary of the cot. So if he walks off the cot, the e-collar comes on. It's like hot lava. As soon as he steps back, it goes off again. Just very different than the energy of that puppy shaping session. And this is really important actually to us to convey, because a lot of owners get stuck shaping, acting with a dog of this size, of this disposition, of this age. They get really stuck sort of keeping that dog in kindergarten, if you will, and helping that dog too much and enabling that dog too much. Here's a little resistance from him. I'd rather not, thank you. She just stays with him, adds the e-collar, little leash clarity if necessary. So a lot of people will get stuck just wanting to keep this all about the food, the meals, the treats, right? And they'll have way too much energy. Her voice is neutral. Her voice and tone are steady and consistent. And when he has been successful and done a great job on the first try, he's getting more from her in terms of that physical touch and interaction. This is just a dog that is not super motivated to work. He really wants to play. He's all about playing with other dogs. He's been this way with every single one of the handlers, where he's just like, this is a dumb idea. Why would I work? I've never had to do that for a paycheck before. So it's taken us a little bit more time to break through that resistance, but he's so capable. It's just gonna take being diligent each day. And to finish my thought about, adding too much energy, food, excitement, whatever, you'll really struggle to get calmness if you keep adding all that energy and excitement and trying to keep your dog pumped up in arousal. It's counterproductive, right? Very counterproductive. So this neutrality, calm, collected, consistent tone, giving him feedback in a timely manner and just working him through these things, using the leash to create clarity and not graduating him off of that too soon. Really, really important for his age, his personality, the goals that are in place for him. And I'll show you, in fact, what would be cool is, it might screw us up for the day, but for you guys, it might be valuable just to do a few more reps and then take him outside and let him go, let him play with a friend, because you'll see what they'll see is they'll get that contrast, right? Right now, it's really easy for people to go, he looks kind of stressed out. He is. He is stressed out, you guys. He didn't learn this from the start. So there's no bullshit here about that. He is stressed out because he's had to go away to camp and he's had to have his world turned upside down in order to learn some basic stuff that if he was Nux, the puppy from yesterday, and it was shaped and enforced and that incremental building of self-control happened early on, then we would have a different guy today. We wouldn't have a stressed guy. We would have what you see with, say, Kai's dog Finn, my boxer Laszlo. These dogs are 9, 12, whatever, 16 months old. And this is not stressful for them because they've always done it, right? And they feel great doing it. They know they get to be included. So what I want you guys to see is, yes, there's stress here. Teach your puppy early and you'll limit the amount of stress they have to experience learning about the world the hard way later on. And then it's really important to understand that this is just one piece. This is just one piece of his day, one piece of his life right now, working him through to build a better foundation. We take him outside, you're going to see a whole different dog. Whole different dog. As soon as we tell him you can rock and roll and do whatever you want to do, he knows exactly what that means, and he will absolutely take those liberties. Yeah, just go on Instagram. Exactly. Go on Instagram because Kai posted him there and you can see him with Denali. It's at Hope2Canine. This is really cool for him because he's not responding to all the action outside the sliders here, right? Like there's dogs going by out there. Hope is doing this and that. And he's just learning there's a time and a place for everything. Little constant on the e-collar button. That's no big deal for him now. He's like, oh, yep, I hear you. I know that means to move in a certain direction because you use the leash to tell me that. We work inside, just regular family style dynamic. People will be around, we'll have food, we'll be cooking, we'll be doing different things like that. So it's pretty normal to what our dogs are coming from in their own home environments. And this is important to us as well so that there's a realistic result that an owner can maintain and that the dog then transfers this knowledge home very easily and very consistently. And we do a lot of repetition, as you can see, not just on things like this, the basics of recall, place, our follow command, let's go. He's 6 months, Summer. 6 months, 6 wily months. So we do a lot of repetitions like this, but then there's tons of other activities that are going to be mixed in here for him. Heel work, field tripping, getting him out with other dogs, working on his social skills. He can be a pushy guy. He can be a guy that doesn't respect other dogs telling him they've had enough of him. So once you get a dog like this trained up on remote collar in a really fair and consistent way, teaching them the low-level sensation, what it means. Look at him listening to her. His ears are back, listening. Then you've got that tool in place for when they're socializing, and you can give them information. He cracks me up. And support them making great decisions. When they're working with, dogs that are getting annoyed, maybe blending them with another dog in the home. Like if he's living with, isn't that funny, Allie? He's got some side-eye game. It's on point. If he was living with an adult dog and he was annoying that dog to no end, it would be so handy then, right, for him to have an understanding of remote collar as a means of saying, hey, calm down, be polite, don't be a pest. And you can actually blend your pup, blend your second dog, your third dog a lot better when you have something like that to communicate boundaries and give the dog information. So this one, pause there for a second for me. That little movement there is really important. For those of you that asked us for the place training information with a dog like this, she stepped on the leash there to give a little gentle pressure downward. You can see just a tiny bit of extension on the prong collar on his neck because he has so much fluff, okay? But that's why the prong is so valuable for us working with him. He can register it, he hears it, versus a flat collar. So she just gently put her foot on there and helped him ergonomically into the down with the e-collar pressure on. That combination is giving him clarity that place means down, and I'm going to follow through on that every time. If you're teaching your puppy, nice, good boy. If you're teaching your puppy place, you got a big puppy, they're up here in their months, they've been on the planet for a while, they're starting to get ideas, and you're therefore going to tools that allow you to be more clear and gentle and consistent. That's a great move that works really nicely to keep the dog calm and keep them from popping up towards your face. I wonder if you can give me just a demo and see if he'll do it for us if you were to down him by bending over like a lot of owners do. Just walk him over to a new spot. A lot of owners make the mistake, she'll come back here, of asking the dog to down by bending over. And you see the sort of stuckness that's happening here. He also thinks about, does that mean like, are we hugging? Are we kissing? Are we getting involved in a game here? It's a very different process. Go ahead, do that again, but with your foot. He nibbled her hand. Thank you. He's a mouthy guy. He was doing that to the leash a lot for the first couple days. So we've nipped that in the bud. So when she comes back again, we'll do the foot thing. When you use your foot, instead of bending over and using your hand, you're able to be distanced. See that? You're distanced from the animal, from the request. You're adding just that little bit of slight pressure through the leash to give clarity for the down without getting tangled up in potential games and silly stuff, or the dog popping up and wanting to lick your face and things like that. So we really like that move. It makes it nice and seamless and smooth and clearer for the animal a lot of times of what it is that we're asking for. And I would say that's a big one with puppies because they get silly. They get real silly real quick, and it's very tempting for them when we stand over them and we act like we're gonna share affection like this, Cody Bears. He's like, I give up. You guys suck. This is just the process. You're so floofy. So anyway, when you bend over and, you get involved, thank you. You get involved with the dog leaning over them, you definitely more likely to have them get jumpy and pouncy. But man, Allie, can you believe it? He's not even doing it now. He's not doing it anymore. It's great. I want you to take him outside for me, Kai. Let's just pop outside and we'll show you guys the difference of, this is calm on command, okay? Calm on command versus Coda in his natural habitat. He's quite pretty, Pam. Just gonna enforce the threshold. Get some eye contact. This is a more dominant guy, for lack of a better word. He has a lot of resistance. Nice. That little eye contact. So Coda is less than a full week in, and you can see that, like I said, in the house, we've built the calm on command concept at a decent level. We'll continue to work through that stuff with him and improve his ability to hold that with distractions and for longer durations. And then we grabbed the nollie. Thanks. And then we'll be able to, ask him to do that in public places and all the things that, will allow him to have inclusion, right? All the moments that, what if they sit with no eye contact? Eye contact's more important than sitting. Great question, Summer. Man, you're full of good questions this week. Sitting is a byproduct of, just being connected and calm and respecting the space, but you want to care about the state of mind more than you want to care about anything else. That should be first and foremost. You really want to, so you guys get the difference here. Like, don't freak out about training videos where the dog is laying down because they look sad. They are learning there is a time and a place for everything. They are learning there is a difference between inside manners, inside voice, if you want to think about kids, right? Versus outside play and outside behavior and the ability to be free and have your friend. I mean, he's a nuisance. Look at him pester this other dog. He is just a pest. He has all of this personality and temperament hanging out in there that's not going to go anywhere. Come on, guys. His personality is not going to go anywhere, but his training, Coda, his training and his skills will increase. So now that he's on e-collar, that's the button in case you're still learning about this stuff. She's going to be able, over the next week to 2 weeks, Kai's going to be able to tackle more of this pushy nonsense with the remote collar. Right now, we're not really concerned about that. He is a turd, right? He's a turd. But the inside experience that you get, what you see him do in the context of the training session, is just really important as an owner, right? It's really important to be able to understand that's a dog on command. That's a dog processing through boundaries. That's a dog learning to have self-control in the right moments so they can then be included in your life when they're Denali size, right? He's very vocal. When they're Denali size, he can go and he can place, like he did in the house, at your feet at the coffee shop or at the bank or at your office. Maybe he gets to go to work with the owner and he gets to lay at their feet and hang out and enjoy that inclusion and freedom and say hello to people and have a lunch break walk together. Like, isn't that what we all want? That's why it's so important to respect the, what's being built in the house and, the necessity for the dog to be able to switch back and forth, okay? This dog is fine. This dog has plenty of go and he will always be ready to rev up. He's a pushy guy. He's a vocal guy. He's got a lot of willfulness, but he's totally trainable. He just needs firmer information. He needs consistency. He needs more structure. He needs to earn more things. You can't get away with the same stuff with this dog that you could maybe, who else do we have here? Dag. The dog that we have in training right now in the rescue, Dag. She's like, there's some stuff under her hood too, but she's much softer. She's much more receptive to information and correction. Let me flip you. Denali, come here. Bring him over here. Denali's like, why? Why is this my job? Denali, why is this my job? Oh, Sam, your dog is earning his keep. Yeah, he's earning his keep. Oops, I rotated my phone. Sorry, guys. Coda, that's enough. So I would correct that a lot sooner. We're just kind of letting this play out for you guys so you can see what we're dealing with him. Go ahead and correct him and slow him down. We'll give Denali a break. He's just hitting the end of the line. So let him hit the end of the line. Give that dog a little bit of information and feedback. You've got to give consequences to this type of behavior. See how he's like, whatever, you're annoying. He's very insensitive to the prong, which is why the e-collar is amazing, because the prong does have a limit. That's him going to the end of the leash, and he doesn't like it. So you're going to find that if you do a DIY, guys, we're just being real here. You're going to find when you DIY it, if you have a pushy dog like this, you have a strong dog, there's going to be a limit to what the prong collar can do. There's going to be a limit to what the prong collar can communicate to that dog, especially when you're talking about coat is breaking through all that fluff, or you're talking about a high threshold dog like our bully breed dogs, Spartacus. Everybody loves Sparty, but Sparty has an incredibly high threshold for pressure and discomfort. He'll charge the animal still from time to time. We were just talking about that with Des this morning. And he needs a high level correction on the remote collar. So do you see how he hits the end? Right? Amy's like, oh my God, you see it, right, Amy? So he hits the end of that line and he's like, still going back for more. That's why she praised him so heavily when he recalled on his own and came back to her. He wants to go do whatever he wants to do. This is literally the default personality and disposition of this puppy and why he's here in a professional training program. So just thought I would share that contrast with you guys so you can see both sides of the coin. And he's definitely a project. He's not an easy puppy. He's been a great training dog for Des, who's here shadowing with us. She's like, this sucks and I'm really glad he's here because it's calling her to a different level of development in her handling ability and processing, even just the emotional part of training, right? Like it's emotional. Thank you. It's emotional to have to walk your dog through these lessons when you are an owner who particularly is soft or, has been going along for quite a while in the relationship with the dog, permitting certain things and being frustrated and confused about why your dog isn't responding the way you want them to. It's actually really emotional for a lot of people to go through that, and even for trainers. It really can be. I wanted to just share that with you, empathize with you guys who are DIYing it right now and who are trying to create a great result with your dog and who are working on some of these tools. It is so valuable to respect what this represents and how it doesn't take away the personality or temperament to teach your dog to turn off. It creates actually a lot more things, okay? It creates the ability to be safe, to be included, to have freedom, to understand their limitations and boundaries in the unit, in the pack, and it makes your life so much more sane, okay? He will always be able to go out and go nutty and be himself when we tell him that it's time for that. What they do not come with is this off switch. And the level of firmness that is required at this stage in the game with 6-month large breed dogs, particularly of that temperament, is very different than if you start this at 9 weeks and you're clear and consistent and shaping and building this skill from the very beginning. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys get that and nobody's freaking out. All right, guys, that's it for now. I just wanted to show you that contrast. Go back and watch yesterday's live stream if you missed it. Thank you so much for hanging out. And if you have more questions and you'd like more support from us on how-tos, we're here for you. We will craft them up as able, okay? See you guys soon. Say goodbye to the turd dog. And thank you to Coda's family for trusting us to help him out. He's going to be 2.0. Much better. Much better.